Right?
Hey.
Yeah, that's a good A.
Nice.
Welcome to Two Dudes Tuesdays, the only podcast guaranteed to help you prepare for the ACT. We'd like to welcome today a special guest, total baller and stud, Ryan Durant.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yes.
Excited to be on Two Dudes podcast.
That's
Two
right,
Dudes
that's right.
Tuesdays.
There we go.
You betcha.
Three dudes today,
Oh,
right?
yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So Ryan Durant is a principal at
Mount Jordan Middle School
Mount Jordan Middle School
Yeah.
in what city?
in Sandy.
Sandy, Utah.
Yep.
Yeah. He is also the brother-in-law to the coolest man ever, which is me. He's my brother-in-law.
Ben Hameen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Member of the fam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we have asked him to be on today to talk to us about his experiences as a principal.
Looking forward to it. I think there's a lot to cover here, and we want to hear a lot of different pieces of your experience, both where you're coming from, what got you interested in the education space, your experience there, challenges, trials, triumphs, all the good stuff.
Yeah. And also in my time with him, I have come to learn that he's got some fantastic stories.
Buckle up.
Because kids can be, how you say, dumb at times.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And parents.
Yes.
I know, because I am one. And
Yeah.
sometimes I get kicked out of sporting events.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yes, I am.
Oh, cool.
Sometimes.
Cool. Good to know.
Yeah.
So, Rye, let's start off here, dude. You have been in Utah since
2010.
2010, and
Yeah.
you went right into the school system.
Yeah, so I decided to move out to Utah from the great state of Kansas because of my wife currently. I decided, hey, if we're going to be together, someone's going to move. And she said, I'm not moving to Kansas because you have tornadoes. And so...
Are you serious? That's what she said?
I mean, she wasn't done with school either, but you know.
Tornado.
You guys, I don't know if you've been to Kansas, but there's not a lot going on out there, especially where I was. So I wasn't upset with her, and I didn't have a job. So I looked for jobs before I moved out here, and I didn't get one. So I told her if I was gonna move out here, I needed to find a job. And so I came out here in 2010, June, for her birthday. And I had 2 interviews, and I went to one interview at Albion Middle School, and I went to another interview at, I don't even remember the name of the school.
Elementary school, right?
No, they're both middle schools.
Middle school. Okay.
And I got offered both positions.
Boom.
And so I told my mom, hey, I'm moving to Utah. And she was like, why? And I was like, I don't know. I got a job. There's a girl.
2 good reasons.
Very
I
good
know.
reasons.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
2 good reasons.
So I moved out here in August of 2010. I rode in my Nissan Maxima that didn't have any air conditioning.
Oh,
no.
And,
In July.
And yeah, in August it was very hot.
Is Utah hotter than Kansas?
More humid, right?
It's more humid.
In Kansas, yeah.
The humidity there makes it just unbearable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like 100 degrees with 100% humidity.
Oh gosh.
So
Yes.
it's good times.
Yeah.
So I had a futon, so I packed that in my car, and then my clothes. And,
You packed a futon.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah. And it didn't have a frame, so I just packed
Just
the mattress.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put that on the floor. Slept on that for a year and a half before we got married.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
It
that.
was a good time.
Nice.
It was a comfortable pad though, so I wasn't like super upset, but
Yeah.
it worked out well.
So you're at Albion Middle School.
Yeah.
Or elementary.
At Albion Middle.
Middle school.
Yeah.
Albion Middle School.
And real quick, before you landed your job, you had finished up your education in Kansas already.
Yeah, so I straight out of high school, I went to a small Division II school called Pittsburgh State University, just 30 minutes away from my hometown.
Pittsburgh State
Mm-hmm.
in Kansas.
Yep, the home of the Gorillas.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Shout out Gorillas.
Gorillas. They are really good in Division II at football.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah. So it's Pittsburgh with no H, so it's just G, no H,
Just a
like
G.
Yeah. No,
Weird.
Yeah. So it was 30 minutes away from where I grew up, and I was there for 3 years, and I was an accounting and business major. And after 3 years, I was like, I don't want to, one, live here in Pittsburgh because it felt like high school all over again. And then two, I was like, I don't want to do accounting or business. And I'd done like tutoring and stuff of like people at school in high school. And I just always thought in the back of my mind, like, if I were to do something, what would I do? And I've always felt like I'm really good with kids, like just the connection that I have, and not a
And
weird,
patient.
yeah,
Patient.
yeah. And so I was like, I could see myself doing something like that, and possibly coaching or something like that. And I was like, but I don't want to do elementary because I do not feel comfortable teaching kids how to read.
Oh.
I'm not that smart or patient. So I was like, I can do math, I can do secondary, high school, or middle school. And so I transferred.
Wait, you decided to be a teacher after you were done with school?
No, I decided I'm a dum-dum. I decided to not finish business and to change my major. And when I was looking at changing my major to education at Pittsburgh State, they didn't have a school of education. They were just like, you go to the math department and they will tell you what education classes you needed to take. And I was like, this feels like unorganized. I don't want to do that.
And here's your diploma we signed with a crayon.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, and I had dated a girl that went to University of Kansas. And so I'd been up there, and I had friends up there that I was honestly up there every other weekend for a year while I was dating this girl.
Yeah.
And so we broke up before I even moved up there. But I was like, I'm going to check out this education department, and it has one of the best education departments in the country. And so I was like, if I can get in, let me try it out. So I did, got in, changed my major, changed schools. I just like to pay money to schools. And so that set me back like 3 years.
Oh,
and
wow.
So I was in school from 2003 to 2009.
Oh,
and
that sounds expensive.
Yeah,
Especially,
I'm still paying on those loans. Yeah, it's good times. Yeah.
No, you didn't get forgiven?
So funny enough, I think I might have found out that I'm getting my loans forgiven like a couple of days ago because they have a public like loan forgiveness program, and I haven't gotten like a letter that said, hey, your loans are forgiven, but you fill out the form and it tells you how many qualifying payments you have. And so you have to have 120 qualifying payments, and I have 140.
Boom.
And so I'm like, hey,
yeah,
let me. The government needs to talk to this company that has my loans, because I'm like, they're like, hey, pay me my money on the 17th. I'm like, but I don't want to pay you the money.
Yeah.
I have 140 qualifying payments, sir. Thank you. Please talk to the government.
And refund me my 20.
Exactly. Thank you. And I'm like, and give me some money.
Yeah.
And so I've actually been trying to call them, but they're like, the wait time is 3.5 hours. And I'm like, ain't nobody got time for that.
Gee whiz.
And so I'm hopeful that happens.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. But wow. Before I graduated, they apparently have a limit on a number of hours you can take for financial aid. And I got that letter, and they said, you are done receiving financial aid because you've taken 180 credit hours.
Oh,
and I was
like, you were at 180?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I was like, don't worry, I'm done. I'm done, guys. I'm done.
Jeez.
And so I graduated. And the program at KU was a 5-year program. So you finish up your undergrad, and then you do a student teaching for 9 weeks, and then you come back like a first semester type situation, the first 9 weeks. And the second 9 weeks, you come back and take master's classes. And then the second semester, you do an internship, and then you're done. And so when I was done with that 5th-year program, I looked for jobs. I actually looked for a job at one of the schools I student taught at, and there was only one math teacher per grade level. And so a 6th grade math teacher, 7th grade, and 8th grade. And I was student teaching in 7th grade, and the 6th grade teacher left. And I was like, this would be the best, because I had such a good time like working there. The staff was great. I love the kids. Like, it felt like a good fit. And then when I applied for the job, they're like, the person that we hired has 10 years experience, and you can't beat that experience. And I'm like,
Yeah, right.
I can't gain experience. You're right. So I feel like it was meant to be, because I was able to find a job out here and move out here. And
Well, 2 offers, right?
yeah.
Boom.
What's funny is when I was moving out here, my friends were like, there's no black people out there. I was like, I've heard, but I heard they have a meeting every Thursday, and so
All the black people?
Yeah, exactly, yeah, the 4 of us.
Yeah.
And so the second job interview, I walk up there, and the assistant principal that comes out is black.
Oh, really?
And he was like, I bet you didn't expect to see me out here. And I was like, absolutely not. I did not. So maybe I want this job.
Yeah.
But it was a weekend. It was a Friday that I did those interviews. And I came out of that interview, and I had a voicemail from Albion. They're like, we want to offer you the job. And I was like, well, I think these guys want to offer me the job too, because the black guy walked out with me. He's like, we want you.
Yeah.
Like, let me talk to the principal. Let me see what we can get pushed through, but keep your phone on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool. Like, this is great. And this is before I even got the voicemail. And so I get the voicemail, and I'm like, what can I give you? Can I take the weekend?
Right.
I know that they want me. I want to kind of think it over. So they didn't call Friday. They didn't call. I was like, well, I didn't hear anything over the weekend, so I'm going to give them until 10 o'clock. And if 10 o'clock comes, I'm going to call and take this job at Albion. So
Yeah.
they didn't call at 10. So I called Albion, and I took the job. And he called at noon.
Oh, no.
And he was like, did you sign anything? I was like, no, but like I gave him my word. Like, that's
Yeah.
I'm not that type of person to just go back. Like, I think it would be fun to work for you, but
Yeah. Were they in the same district?
they were not.
Oh,
So
different
one
district.
was in Canyons and the other one was in Jordan, even though they used to be the same.
Oh,
but
okay.
They split at that time. They had been 1 year into the split.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. So you entered Albion in middle school.
Yep.
Tell us how stupid those kids were.
So funny, like you could tell that they hadn't had much experience with black people in general.
Okay.
And so like they'd be like, "Oh my God, you look like Kanye West," because I had earrings in. I'm like, I look nothing alike, like nothing like him.
However, just for our listeners, if this man grows a beard, he looks exactly like James Harden.
Okay, I have gotten that, and from a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like just random people too. The guy who delivered pizza was like, "You know who you look like?" I was like, "James Harden." He's like, "Yeah, James Harden."
You know what's funny though is actually with very short facial hair like you have now, you don't really look a lot like James Harden.
Yeah, I know.
But when you had that big beard, holy crap, dude!
Now that I wear glasses more often, I don't necessarily see it as much.
Okay.
But when I had especially when I had the faux hawk, like that was prime time.
It was crazy.
My principal was like, "You look like this guy that plays basketball." I was like, "Oh yeah, tell me more."
Yeah.
What's he look like?
Yeah.
Is he ugly or what are you trying to tell me?
Well, it's better than getting told you look like George Costanza, which is what I got. So that's awesome.
I think the first time I met you was on the basketball court.
Yeah.
And you did that little step back 3-pointer, and I was like, I'm playing against James Harden. I'm playing against James Harden.
It's actually James.
Can I get a selfie?
Except 7 inches shorter.
Yeah.
Oh, if
Still
I had
swished.
the height.
Yeah. Still had the shot.
Yeah.
And also had the reach.
I do have long arms.
Like, I don't know, you're tough to guard inside. You know how to move right.
The finish at the hoop. You
Yeah.
just couldn't stop once you were driving. If you had even a fraction of a step on somebody, you were finishing every time.
Hey, you know
That
what?
was my younger years. I'm
That
a
all-
lot slower now.
That also reminds me that he knows our main sponsor, Tony Fino.
Oh yeah. You guys had to have hung out in some circles, right?
No, in basketball.
Basketball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You
So-
do.
I'm sure Tony remembers your first and last name just like he remembers ours.
Absolutely.
But yeah, he's a huge sponsor.
I love that.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Tony Fino.
Yeah, Tony Fino. He's always trying to get on, and we're like, easy there, buddy.
Hey. You're on
Yeah.
these other podcasts with other golfers.
Yeah.
Slow your roll, buddy.
Exactly.
We're prime time.
Yeah. Yeah. And unless he's over at our mom's house one day, he's never going to hear any of these. Anyway.
Fantastic.
Okay. So, yeah. So, middle school. You're a middle school math teacher.
Yeah.
And at this time, you are a on the side tutor of brother-in-law.
Said brother-in-law.
Said
yes.
brother-in-law in calculus
Yes.
because he cannot pass calculus. Seriously.
And my own wife as well.
Oh, yeah. She.
Yeah.
No, we were in different classes together, but yeah. He's calculus third time. Ryan helped me get through it.
Is that your specialty, math?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And honestly, I'm not like, I wouldn't say I'm like, oh, I'm like a math genius. I'm just persistent.
Gotcha.
And I found that out when I was in my undergrad, and these people are just like in math classes, not even taking notes. And I'm like, who's this guy? I'm like, I thought I was smart. I am not. These guys are just like, oh yeah, he's having a conversation with, with the professor. Oh yeah. And this differential, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, I gotta write this down as quick as possible. And then I go to office hours, and there would be like 4 of us just like waiting outside the professor's office. I'm just like, all right, so I wrote the stuff down just so that we can talk about what you were talking about.
I definitely he definitely got me through that. So your middle school principal.
Yep.
I know you really enjoyed that job. You were also a basketball coach there, girls basketball coach.
Yeah, so I was a ninth grade girls basketball for Albion. Go Knights.
Go Knights.
We were not good, but we were better than the other teams, so it was fine. Like and at this point, it's ninth grades in middle school. So if they want to play high school basketball, those are the actual girls that are actually playing basketball.
Yeah,
they'll go and play at the high school. So these girls are like, I'll play basketball for fun. So at Albion, we had a lot of good soccer players, and so they were just athletes.
Yeah.
And so we would just run everyone out the gym. And I'm like, let's just press and work on making layups. And it worked out pretty well.
Booyah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I did that for 3 years. It was a good time.
Converted the soccer players to basketball.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Good strategy. So how long were you there?
At Albion, I was there for 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that long. I didn't think that long.
Yeah, so I in order to be in administration at that time, you had to be a teacher for at least 5 years. And so my third year at Albion, I was like, I know I want to make more money, right? I don't know how long I want to teach, but I know I want to make more money eventually. And so I applied to the University of Utah's Master's in Education with administrative licensure, and got in, and that was a 2-year program. I went to the Murray campus.
Bring on the debt.
Yes, love it. It was like, how much is it? Just add it to my tab. It's fine. I already got 25 down. What's another 15? It's fine.
There you go.
It's fine. And so I did that for 2 years.
15?
Huh?
15?
15,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, wasn't it like 50?
No, that wasn't me. That was your brother, other brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would have thought it was the same. Yeah,
Yeah,
his
no.
MBA was like 50. What was yours?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah.
Mine was about, 50.
And University of U, because I looked into the U, theirs was the executive program's a little more than the full time.
Yeah.
Theirs was like 90.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's still on the low end. Like,
That's crazy to me.
yeah, it's nuts.
That's insane. Yeah, and this program was geared towards working professionals, so we only had class once a week, but it was a long day. Like it was Mondays from 4 to 9:30.
So not only are you punished by having to pay 90,
Yeah.
but then you get punished by having to go to the U.
Yeah. Got him.
Cornered you into that one.
I was like, I'll take whatever program. It doesn't matter to me. I have no affiliation.
No, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
actually really cool. It's
Yeah,
cheaper. It's,
Jayhawks for life.
Oh, yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
care about
No. Well,
anything
Utah,
else.
they're like, oh yeah, are you a Ute or a BYU fan? All the kids are like, oh, I'm like, I don't care.
yeah, a Jayhawk.
Yeah, I'm a Jayhawk. But if you had to choose, I'm not going to.
Albion.
Yeah,
You're a.
yeah, you can't make me.
You're a.
The Knights.
What's
The
the
Knights,
Knights?
the
Yeah, you're
Albion
not.
Knights. Oh, you're Albion Knight, huh? When did you graduate?
Yeah. When did you get here? 2016.
Yeah.
I was 2 years before.
Oh
that.
yeah. I know some Albion Knights, some probably around our age. You know Jason Long?
Oh yeah, Jason. We go way back.
Yeah, you do. You? Okay.
No.
I was seriously trying to figure out who Jason Long was for a second there. I was like, did he go
I
pro?
sold you on that too.
Yeah.
No, although I would have loved Albion. I went to. I was a Benyon Bobcat. Yeah.
My
Bobcats.
other two cousins, Brent and Scott, went to Albion.
Oh, really?
Those. I was like, I knew two of your cousins went. It wasn't you though.
Yeah.
I was
Gotcha.
messing.
Yeah.
Dustin Long was our quarterback. He probably got. That's where I got mixed up. No, I'm just kidding.
Dustin Long.
So tell me, think of your time at Albion. So 'cause you were 5 years and then you left.
Yeah.
Favorite story from Albion?
What's interesting about being a teacher is that the majority of your time is spent in those four walls. And so you don't necessarily get to see a bunch of different things unless it's like specific kids doing specific stupid stuff, right? Like, but at Albion, those kids went to class. It's similar to Corner Canyon in that they don't really do a bunch of bad stuff.
Yeah, it's
For
a
the
good
most
school.
part. Yeah, it's a really good school. And so, like, I'll tell you something about a teacher. So this guy, I'm not gonna say his name, was a hothead and just like pissed people off all the time, and I don't know why. Like he got into just different arguments with just random people. Like there was at that time we were doing like advisory period, so you go to it's like a homeroom,
Oh, okay.
and so we would do like competitions amongst homerooms, and this guy and actually another lady who's from Kansas and she's a Jayhawk fan that I worked with, just they're out there, the kids are playing kickball and they're out here just yelling at each other in front of everyone, and we're like,
What?
do you guys see that there's kids out here? Like, what the hell are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
And then there was we had a fire drill and people were like laughing about some stuff, and he gets up and he's like, this is not funny. I've been in a real fire. People almost died. And he's yelling in front of this and we're just like,
Wait, is he yelling about kickball in the first story?
yeah.
And then the second one.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he's just like, I'm like,
Gee whiz.
lay off the Red Bull, bro.
Yeah.
And he was like in charge of the fencing team. Like there was a fencing like club.
There was a fencing club?
Yeah, and
Wow.
I was like, this guy shouldn't have any knives around. Like, he's very unstable.
Gee whiz.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You take the fire drill serious.
Exactly. Like he was like yelling so loud, and we were just like,
Gosh.
"Ooh, this is embarrassing."
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
psycho.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then you get your first vice principal job at Jordan.
So I was appointed an administrative intern
Oh, okay.
at Jordan. So when I first started, they had interns at all 5 of the high schools in Canyon School District. And so essentially, you're an assistant principal, but you're getting paid less.
Yeah.
You're doing the same work, and they would put interns based off of the I'm gonna say population enrollment, and so our enrollment didn't support having 4 assistant principals. It was like you needed to have 2,000 kids, and we had 1,900 kids.
Okay.
And so that's why they didn't pay for that. And then eventually, so I was there an intern for 2 years, and then I was made a full-time assistant principal that third year. And
Beat diggers.
The Beat Diggers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weirdest-
Jordan Beat Diggers.
Weirdest mascot name ever.
It's an old school and
Tradition.
where they had a bunch of beat fields, and that's where the school was, and so that's.
However, shout out to the landscaping crew because that big J on the grass in front.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I've known that since I was little. That's always not a little bit.
Yeah.
There was a national one of the nighttime talk shows.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Jay Leno specifically mentioned the Jordan Beat Diggers. I think they were like going through a list of like weird mascots.
Yeah.
And they mentioned the Beat Diggers.
Yeah, and the mascot's Digger Dan.
Digger Dan.
Nice.
Is he in the shape of a beat?
Does he have overalls?
He has overalls.
Oh,
yeah.
I've seen it. Yeah.
He's like
I know.
a farmer.
Yeah. They're like
With a
Farmer
hoe.
Dan. I'm like, no, it's Digger Dan.
It's Digger.
Don't you dare disrespect that.
Don't
that
get it
guy.
twisted.
Jeez.
Digger Dan.
Yeah, that was that was cool. That's when you started also traveling, or at nights you worked a lot more because you go to sporting events as a assistant principal.
Yeah, so you're required to attend those. It's a UHSAA, the Utah High School Athletic Association, like requirement that you have at least one administrator from each school that's participating in a sporting event.
Any fights?
At sporting events?
Yeah.
Yes.
That you had to jump in for?
No.
And punch a kid in the face?
No. I was like, no.
You didn't stop it. You just jumped in to help.
Yeah. I was like,
Beat Digger for life.
He's from your own school, like one of the punk kids that always deserved it,
I'm
right?
like, oh yeah, get him.
Oh, sorry, I missed that one. I was trying to get this guy.
Yeah, that's funny. Like, no, the fights usually happen like after the fact, and I was like, I'm done with you guys. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, don't be dumb.
Well, they always had to have like law enforcement at those games
exactly.
too, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, you guys take care of it. Yeah. Law enforcement.
There you go.
Yeah, it's good times.
Jeez. So after Beat Digger,
And how long there? Sorry, your third year you were hired as a full-time assistant principal.
Yeah. So then I was at Jordan a total of 5 years.
Okay.
So 2 as an intern, 3 as a full-time assistant principal. And I was there under 2 principals. One, Tom Sherwood, and he's well known around the state.
Okay.
Because he's been around for a long time. He was there for a long time at Jordan, and then he moved to Brighton. And then my next appointment was at Brighton, and I went and worked with him again. And I also worked with Wendy Dow, who's currently the the superintendent in Provo District. So
shout out Wendy. Shout out
Tom Sherwoods.
There we go.
Yeah, but Jordan was a great time. Like, it was a great community. I love the kids. It was a good time.
You've got 17 drawers full of Jordan
apparel.
apparel.
Yes, that's a perk of being an administrator is you get all the swag. You're like, oh, you are a girls golf team. I want a polo. Let's say girls golf. Oh,
you had some good stuff.
Yeah,
you had some good stuff.
Yeah, I know, it was a good time.
So, favorite story from
Jordan?
From Jordan.
Oh man, Jordan! It was a fun time. So, what was it? My second year there. Yeah, my second year there. We had these football players that were, our lunch, our cafeteria workers were like, someone's been taking chocolate milk and ice cream.
Just right out of the cafeteria?
Just out of the cafeteria. And we don't know who's been doing it, but we noticed that there's quite a bit of it been missing. And that was like a random, like, okay, well, when did this happen? Like, how often? They're like, we don't remember what we just noticed. So if we notice again, we'll tell you at a more like reasonable time. So it was Labor Day weekend, and the Tuesday after Labor Day, they're like, we noticed someone's been taking ice cream and chocolate milk again. Like, okay, cool. Let's go look on the cameras and see if we can figure out who it was. And kind of paint the picture. You know the refrigerators that have the drinks in them. Imagine that, but it having a top and a bottom, and there being separate doors.
Okay.
So there's a top door, there's a bottom door.
Yeah.
The bottom door has a lock on it, and the top door does not. Okay. And the the fridge is in line with the where you get lunch. So it's like just like this wall essentially. Like if you were to go through the lunch line, you open the door, get your milk, walk down, get your food, that type of thing.
Okay.
And so everything's locked. The door to get to the back behind the lunchroom is locked. There's a big a garage door type thing that is a door that is locked at the bottom to get into it. And so we see that there's a group of like 6 or 7 boys that are in the cafeteria after school, and we see they pull out the shelves. There's nothing in the top one that's unlocked. There's nothing in there. So they pull out the shelves and push the smallest kid through the back, because it on the back it's just open so you can put the milk in.
Because it accesses the kitchen in
exactly,
the back.
Yeah. So it accesses the kitchen in the back.
Yeah.
And so they push that kid through there. He runs around, opens the door. They have access to chocolate milk, ice cream, all the things.
Oh my gosh.
And then you see them all there. The cafeteria is next to a long hallway that leads to the outside where they can head out to football practice. And they were football players. So we see them get the stuff and they run. And then there's another kid that just walks out of the cafeteria with nothing in his hands and just goes and sits in the commons like nothing has happened. And so we figure out who these kids are. Actually, we figure out who the one kid is who went back out into the commons.
Yeah.
And this kid's name is Yummy.
Really?
His real name is Yummy. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. And so we go and we're like, hey,
Yummy.
What's going on here? Who's involved? He's like, because we're getting these stories like, oh yeah, the cafeteria workers let us have this stuff. And I'm like, no, they don't.
Okay.
No, they don't. And so he tells us who it was. So we bring them in out of football practice and we suspend them all.
Yeah.
And so I get a phone call from one of the people that we suspended. She's like, I think you have the wrong kid, because my son is saying like this didn't happen. I'm like, no, we're pretty sure.
We got cameras.
No, we got cameras. And he was like, well, can I see it? Can I see the camera? I'm like, yeah, come on in. And she's like, I think who you think it might be is this Yummy kid. And I'm like, oh no, he's a part of it too.
He ratted your son.
Yeah. I was like, I don't want to tell you, but he told us that your kid was involved. And so she comes in and we show the video, and she's like, where do you think my kid is? I'm like, you think this is your kid? And he's like, no, that's not my kid. And the kid's like, yeah, that isn't me. Yeah, I told you. And he's been telling his mom, like, yeah, the cafeteria workers will. It's like they go through the lunch line and they give them free ice cream and free chocolate milk.
Okay.
That's what he's explaining to his mom.
Right.
And so I'm like, so my principal's in there like, yeah, so how do you get this ice cream and chocolate milk if you're not in this case? He's like, oh, I told you that it was a garage door. We pull up the garage door and let the kid slide underneath, and he gets back there. And his mom is like, what?
So he's saying they do it, but just a different way.
And my principal was like, oh yeah, and just so you know, they broke that garage door and we need you to pay for that.
Oh no.
And so she goes, can I see what you're talking about? And she goes, yeah. And so we walked down there, and I'm not going to say what she said.
Yeah.
But she was just like, if this is what it looks like, I'm going to kill you. She didn't say those words. She said, to her kid. Oh. Beat your butt.
Yeah.
And so she goes and sees what it is. So she goes out to the football field because he has an older brother. This kid's a sophomore and he has a senior brother.
Okay.
goes out to the football field and punches her son in the face
Oh my
and says,
gosh.
"You knew that he was doing it and you knew it was wrong."
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I'm supposed to report something, but
I'm just gonna let this.
yeah, I'm gonna let this one slide.
Probably doesn't happen at home.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. So yeah, it was a good time.
Get him.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I was like, oh,
Holy
no.
moly. Well, yeah, because she probably felt so stupid.
Oh yeah, because she was defending her kid, just
Yeah.
like
Right.
tooth and nail. So she was like, "You made me look like a dum dum."
Oh my gosh.
And she was a very vocal parent to begin with, and I found that out from then on, and also for the remainder of the next 2 years. But yeah, it was a good time.
That's something I've been really curious about. How often do you deal with parents whose kids can't do wrong, right?
So I think it depends on what community you're in. At Jordan, for the most part, those parents were like, "Okay, I know who my kid is. Like, thanks for calling. We'll do whatever we can to support."
He's already grounded.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just send him home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, there's, like, at the Albion community, the Brighton community.
Which, after Jordan, you went to Brighton High School
yeah,
as an assistant
Yeah,
principal.
exactly. Yep. So after Jordan, I went to Brighton. It wasn't, like, all the time, but it was definitely more frequent than at my time at Jordan. There was a guy that was on the phone, was like, that guy.
He tested your
Yeah,
patience,
he
huh?
wants so much. And he was like yelling at me on the phone. I was like, "Listen, sir, I'm not going to stay on the phone with you telling me that I don't do my job when your kid did this, what we said, what she did."
Yeah.
So we're not going to change anything from what you're asking us to do. She's still suspended.
Yeah.
Like, she's still and in our district, for certain things, you have to take classes or pay fines. So, like, for fighting, there's a $50 fine, and you have to take a class.
Really?
And
what type of class? Like
like aggression, like
anger management.
that type of class. Yeah.
Jeez.
And we offer them. It's called through Canyons Family Center.
Yeah.
And it's held at our school. But yeah, so
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and so, but the first time you fight is $50 fine, and if you take the class within 30 days, then it gets waived. And the second time you fight is $150, and it does not. You can't get it waived.
Dang.
And it's the same with, like, drugs. So if you get busted for weed, it's a $50 fine, and then a class, and then the second time is a $150 fine.
Jeez.
And,
I love that.
yeah.
And you get your weed taken,
Did
probably.
you guys ever have anything like that growing up?
No.
Weed?
The weeds. Maybe I was oblivious to it because I didn't.
You were a good kid.
Yeah, I didn't do any drugs, but I knew that the kids were coming to school high. So I don't know if kids got caught because the kids are dumb.
Yeah,
now,
kids are
they
dumb.
want to do it at school.
Yeah.
And they just, like, enjoy hiding it. And so, like, when we were in high school, I think the kids just left to go do it and then came back, as opposed to, like, trying to do it on campus.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, my friends did in school.
Did
And
they?
do you know what was big in my school was chewing tobacco? So kids would have chewing tobacco in their lip.
Yeah.
And then I remember in this one math class I was in, this kid was spitting into a pop can, and the teacher totally knew what he was doing, right? Because you put it up to your mouth differently.
Yes.
And the teacher goes, "What's in your mouth?" Like, the whole class just
Yeah,
paused. He's like,
yes.
"What's in your mouth?" He's like, "Nothing." He's like, "What's in your soda can?" He's like, "Soda." He's like, "Drink it." Kid drinks it, brings it up to his mouth, drinks it, like, puts it down. He's like, "That's gross. Now go to the office." And go anyway.
Same experience. I had a kid. It was a bottle, though. It was a bottle of Pepsi.
Oh,
And
gosh.
we're in a big circle. And so everyone knows this dude is chewing at school every
That's
day.
idiots.
And so it's the teacher that, like, we're friends with her kids. Like, we know her outside of school. So she's like, I'm going to do this and then also make you be in trouble.
Ugh.
And so she's like, "What do you have?" And he's like, "I'm nothing." And kind of that same. So he took a drink of it, and everyone in class was like, "Oh!"
Yeah, because
because we were like, "Oh!"
Drink it again.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Now share some with your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take a drink.
Yeah. No, gurgle.
Yeah.
Gargle.
Yeah.
Gargle.
Yeah.
We also had some kids who were in shop class, I remember, above the welding tables, they had these vents, and there were these kids who were smoking weed and blowing it into that vent because it is a suction cup.
Yeah.
Thing is, though, is that vent passed by the teacher's bathroom, and so they were blown into it, and the teacher was in the bathroom, and he just comes out and he's like, I know what you guys. He's like, you just filled my whole bathroom with weed smell. They got busted.
Teacher was huffing through the vent.
Yeah, he's like,
mouth up to Wait, it's 2:00. I gotta go to the bathroom.
What, you guys need to go up there? Cool. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Yeah, kids make dumb decisions in high school.
In middle school too. So
yeah. So you go to Brighton.
Yeah.
Principal there or assistant principal?
Yeah, I was there for 2 years, and
remember what I think the first day you were there, didn't a guy brought a gun or a girl did? What happened to that?
At Brighton?
Yeah, and remember you had to run all the way because it was being remodeled.
Oh, so
I remember that story.
So this was the second year I was there, and there was a kid that so in our district, if you are taken to a safe schools hearing, in order to be able to re-enroll, and you decide to leave to not go to our school. So, for example, if someone brings a gun to school, they'll go to what is called district case management, and that's a team of administrators and district administrators, and they review, is this kid, like, they review the case, and then they make a decision on, okay, what are we doing with this kid? Is he going to go back to the school where he came from? Is he going to go to a different middle school or high school? Do we not feel like it's safe for him to be in school at all?
Yeah.
So then you have to look at like long-term home and hospital situations.
Oh.
So this kid had been taken to this committee and chose to not go to school in our district anymore.
Okay.
And so whenever he comes back, well, that just doesn't like alleviate remove what happened. So you have to go through that process of, okay, how long has it been? This is what we were going to put in place when you were here. So we need you to talk to these people first, and then we'll put you in a school where we'll put you in a situation where we feel like it's safe for you to be. And so this kid was like, well, he just wanted to come in and enroll, but that's not how it works.
Yeah.
So we were like, hey, you need to go to this person at the district, and they will help you get set up.
Go through their process.
And he was not happy about that.
Yeah.
And I don't know how the school resource officer got involved, but they got to the point where he had attacked the school resource officer
on the way. Oh, that's right. On the way out of the school.
All the way out of the school, yeah.
Outside where like parents were parked and stuff. He fought the cop, the school cop.
Yes, and was reaching for the cop's gun.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And our school resource officer at the time was a smaller woman.
Yeah.
And this kid was probably your size, Zach. And so like
so just massive muscles everywhere.
Just
6'3", 225, like 5% body fat.
God's gift
washboard
to everyone.
abs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so he's wrestling this cop, and she's just fighting for her life. And luckily, there were other because we're in Cottonwood Heights, we're right across the street from the police station. So she was able to call for help, and they came over and supported her. But
didn't you say a dad got out of the car?
Yeah,
and helped her or something.
Yeah. Like that's how she was able to like call for help, because the dad was trying to help her as well. So
shout out to that dad, whoever that guy was.
Yeah, seriously, I'm like, this is scary stuff.
Yeah,
like this is no joke.
Yeah, is that your only experience with a gun in school?
Um, yes, for me, yeah.
Yeah.
But I've been in so on that district case management team. It's an assistant principal from every high school for high school cases and every middle school for middle school cases.
Hmm.
And so when I was at the high school, you some situations it's like okay you go to this district case management team. Some more extreme cases where you have a gun,
Uh-huh.
you'll just go straight to a hearing.
Oh,
And a hearing is just like we're deciding if we want to allow you back in our school or if we're going to expel you.
because there might be a situation where a kid accidentally brought a gun.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, versus
Yeah.
planning.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah. And so there was a situation at one of our alternative high schools where they searched a kid, um, and I don't remember the reason why they searched the kid. They had a reason, but he had a gun in his backpack,
Oh, that's scary.
Oh man.
and they allowed him to go back to the alternative school after I think it was like 60 days or something like that.
Mm.
But it was he was involved with he was gang involved,
Uh-huh.
and so it was a whole ordeal of him being involved with someone else who probably had a gun on them as well.
Yeah.
And so yeah, there've been a couple of situations like that.
That's sketchy.
Yeah.
Quick question on that topic. So both Ben's mom and my mom are empty nesters, so they don't have any kids in grade school anymore.
Yeah.
But in case there's anybody besides them listening right now,
Yeah.
what would you say? Like what are the schools typically doing to prevent something like that, or what's the protocol in the event that there is a school shooting? I've always been curious of how that's managed.
In case of a school shooting,
Stop, drop, and roll.
It's actually something like that.
Oh, really?
It's there, and the kids will practice this. Every elementary school, I don't know how often they practice drills, but there's a drill for elementary kids every month, whether it's an evacuation drill or a secure drill,
okay.
or so there's different terminology that we use to decide what action we're going to to start. So if it's an evacuation drill, where the fire alarms are going to go off, everyone goes out.
Which are no joke.
Right.
Fire alarms,
They're
no joke.
No
No.
joke. No joke.
You need to listen.
Absolutely. You better pay attention and get as far away from the building as
Get
possible.
outside.
If there is a threat inside the school, and this might sound counterintuitive, but the outside doors unlock and then the fire doors lock on the inside. And we want kids to, one, assess their surroundings. And so if you, for example, hear a gunshot and we have an app that we use that we can alert, okay, we're going into lockdown.
Wow.
And we can say, okay, we can communicate through this app that says, okay, we know that the shooter is in the gym. So the gym is on the northwest side of the building, and you're on the south, any area of the south side of the building. Get out.
Get out.
Yeah.
Right? If you're upstairs.
Wait, how do you communicate to the teachers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
To the teachers, yeah. And we can communicate it through this app. And
yeah.
We can send messages that says, get out, go to the relocation spot.
Okay.
And there's relocation spots on site, and every school is, in our district at least, is partnered with a location that can house your students for a significant amount of time so that parents can come and get their kids.
Mm.
So like, I'm not going to tell you where ours is because that's, we want to make sure. Yeah.
Okay.
But there's multiple places that in the event of something like this happening, we're going to say we're going to go to this relocation spot. And then we'll send out a message to parent to be a parent square.
I've gotten that before.
That says, hey, we're going to have you come. We want you to stay put now.
Yeah.
We'll send you more information when it becomes available, when we actually know that everyone's safe and at the relocation spot.
Yeah, I swear I've gotten one of those notifications. It was like, something's happening. We're not sure.
Yeah.
Just be ready.
Right, yeah. And so the majority of those are like, so lockdown is there's someone inside. We're unlocking the exterior doors because we want the police to be able to have access as quick as possible.
Yeah.
And we're locking our doors if if it's unknown of where the person is and you don't necessarily know, like, it's safer to lock and bring in all the kids that are in any public spaces into that classroom and hide from the windows.
Yeah.
If you're unsure.
That's crazy.
And so it's called run, hide, fight. So if you can run, run. If you can't run, then you got to hide. And you got to hide in a place where you want to lock the doors. You want to have the lights off. You want to be in a location where you can't see through the window. And then if that's not a possibility, then unfortunately, you got to fight.
You got to fight, yeah.
You got to fight. And so that's in the event of someone inside the building. If there's something happening on the outside of the building, it's called secure. So a lot of times people will get messages. There's something going on with the police in the neighborhood. We're going to go into secure.
Yeah.
The outside doors lock. We're business as usual on the inside.
But nobody comes or goes.
But nobody comes or goes.
Those are the warnings I've had.
Yeah.
Yep.
So nobody comes or goes. And we will send something out to the community that says, hey, we're insecure.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the police are in the area. We want to make sure that everyone stays safe. Kids are still going to class like normal.
Yeah. Do you guys have guns in school? Are you not allowed to say?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
That's a good question. So we're talking about political legislature. This last legislative session has required that every school have a guardian in their school. And that is a person that is in charge of a firearm and is on campus at all times.
And then can that be a police officer?
It can be a police officer.
Oh, okay.
But it doesn't have to be.
But it doesn't have to be, and nor do we have the manpower for it to be. And so every high school has an SRO that's there full time.
Yeah.
Every middle school, for the most part, shares an SRO.
Oh.
And every elementary shares that SRO probably shares 4 or 5 elementaries.
Wow. Especially elementaries.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, but you don't have elementary students bringing in guns to school usually.
No, but the majority of these kinds of things that you hear happening around the country, they tend to be the elementary schools,
Yeah.
right?
Really?
It seems I don't know. Sandy Hook was an elementary school.
Yeah, the one in Uvalde in Texas was elementary school.
I mean, Columbine wasn't, but
yeah,
like
and there's one in Florida that wasn't. But I think
okay, so maybe it's across the board.
Yeah, but it was our legislator brought in, I don't know, parents of the victims of school shootings and just talked about their experience and what they felt like would be helpful.
Yeah.
And they were really pushing having someone be on campus armed at all times.
Yeah,
and
it's like a marshal on a plane. That's crazy.
Yeah, so that sounds great in theory, but in action, what does that look like? And there's no it's not like a ton of, there's some funding for it, but it's not a ton of funding. So you talk with the officers, we have, I think, 4 different city police departments that we work with: Sandy, UPD, Cottonwood Heights, maybe just 3. And so trying to figure that out because they're different entities, what does that look like? And so, and they've already said like we don't have the ability to have an SRO in every one of your schools.
Right.
So then now what?
The watchdog, the dad watchdog program.
So then they were like, okay, are there like private companies that we can hire? And the police department's like, those private companies are like our police rejects.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And probably expensive.
Shout out police rejects.
Yeah.
Aspiring heroes too, right?
Aspiring heroes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, well, if you have someone that's in your building that is willing to be that person, that's an option as well.
Yeah, that's what I'd do.
But it can't be a person whose first duty is to work with kids.
Oh.
So it can't be a teacher.
And all janitors are criminals, right?
It can be. It can be a custodial person. It can be, and at the time, like in law, it says you can't be an administrator either.
Oh.
So it can be a front office person. It can be a hall monitor. It can be.
You should really surprise them and make it a kid.
And you can't make someone do it.
Yeah.
So it has to be voluntary. And so that's been a topic of conversation.
Interesting. I see the dilemma. Yeah. Like, and especially where you're talking about the lack of funding, like the limited funding, means you would have limited training. So you would have limited qualifications.
So they're requiring that everyone has to have training. Everyone has to go through a psych evaluation. So there's like
background check. All that.
Yeah. So I guess there is that. They'll pay for that initially, but then we're talking. Okay, they're talking about, okay, what if you don't have someone that volunteers in your school? Now what? And you don't have an SRO. Now what? And so they're like, well, we were going to ask for an exemption to open it up for administrators, and so then it becomes, for some people, a moral dilemma of, do I want to do this if I don't necessarily believe in being a gun holder, a carrier? And they said that the gun can't stay on campus when the person who's a guardian isn't on campus. So the gun has to be with the person at all times.
At all times, yeah.
Which that makes sense.
Yeah. And then, you'd also be high probability that you'd have to shoot a kid.
I mean,
that'd be really.
It is a weight that comes from it of, okay, so you're saying if this happens, then I actually have to take action.
Yeah.
And what does that look like?
And what if you shoot the wrong kid? What if kid gets in the way?
What if and you also cannot disclose who the guardian is.
Sure. Yeah.
And so,
which you wouldn't want to.
Right. But then we want the cops in there as quick as possible anyway, right? So hopefully it's like, by the time the person is getting to this gun, this firearm, the police will be there.
Yeah.
But in the event that you're not and the police come in,
you're the one with a gun.
You're the one with a gun. Exactly. And so then you're like, okay, I don't know.
Don't shoot.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Mm-hmm.
So
so
it's a hard thing, but I fully believe that our schools are very safe. We unfortunately have to train our kids in the day and age that we have now to practice these types of situations, and I hate it because kids shouldn't have to go through that. They shouldn't have to practice what if this happens, but it's for their own good, and we want to make sure that we're keeping them safe as possible.
That's rough. I know when you were describing this, I was looking back to my own education in elementary specifically, and I remember earthquake drills.
Yes.
And you would get under your desk, and over those old school ghetto intercoms, they would play like this.
The rumbling?
Yeah, this like rumbling noise.
Oh, I
that was
didn't. Never heard that.
super,
Oh, yeah.
like super old school, super like ghetto is the only word
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
think of, right?
We still do it.
You
Yeah,
do?
Yeah.
With earthquake?
Yep.
We did tornado drills in Colorado.
So we
Yeah.
did tornado drills also.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys did real tornado.
Yeah, we were like for real
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
The tornado is gonna be here.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
one's small enough. We'll
Yeah.
use it as a drill.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
We
That's
had a
what-
ton of them in Colorado, actual tornadoes, but they never
Yeah.
really did anything.
Yeah.
Whereas you guys, I mean, you lose towns.
Oh yeah, we had I've only ever been in one tornado in the 25 years I lived in Kansas,
Yeah.
but it destroyed our town. It went through the middle of it.
Oh,
and
gosh.
there were people that were just like, well, I don't live here anymore. So I think we had a teacher that was like, so is she coming back or not?
Oh,
She didn't.
just
Oh, man.
gone.
Just
she was,
had to
she was
uproot
like,
and
well,
go
I'm out of here.
Start a new life.
This is the thing I needed. Our movie theater, our poor movie theater, it went through a fire, it relocated, and then the tornado came and just destroyed it. Just right down the middle of town. It's just like this big, massive, like warehouse looking building just in the middle of town. And it was just like, I'm coming to you. Yeah.
That's funny. That's what happened. Well, that's not funny, but in the movies, Twister,
Yeah,
the Twister movie,
Yeah.
both of them. The second one ends in a movie theater. That's where everybody is.
I know.
yeah.
I know. I was like, this feels familiar.
Yeah. You're having
Yeah.
PTSD
What's-
while you're watching the movie.
Yeah. What's funny, that movie, did you watch the most recent one?
Yeah.
So, Stillwater, Oklahoma
Okay.
is where a lot of that movie is placed. And one of my best friends owns a bike shop in Stillwater.
Oh,
And I
really?
was like, that's probably Bobby's bike shop.
That's probably Bob's.
We're probably getting close to time, but I wanted to ask this. Being around the kids and seeing the challenges they face, what are the biggest problems and challenges that kids face right now? I mean, when you look at someone who's not in it every day, I'm thinking like, we've
Acne.
talked about safety,
Mm.
back knee, right? That's a real issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like, so there's
Why did you choose back knee over acne?
It's funny. It's back knee.
That's
I
funny.
always thought it was a funny word
It
that
is a
somebody
funny-
came up with.
It is a funny word. I'll tell you a story about how me and Lexi reconnected one day.
What?
From back knee.
That back boobs.
What?
Pray
We
tell.
can finish it. I'll tell you after.
And then the other thing I was thinking was like there's a like social media and phone use is a hot topic.
Yes, very much so. This guy is just thinking about. He can't focus about anything else right now.
Yeah, I'm out.
That's funny. It's funny that we are looking at revamping our personal technology so that we don't have schools in the building from the start of school to the end of school. And
No phones.
no phones.
Okay.
What
Not-
Bentley my oldest daughter in high school has like
like a phone pouch.
you have
Yeah.
to put it in when you go into school.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. So there's research out there. I think it's, I don't know. I can be swayed one way or the other. I really don't have a preference. I think it's hard for us as adults to say, kid, you can't have your phone all day, and then us be checking our phones all day.
Yeah, right.
And so I
Because I'm sending Ryan good memes during the day,
yeah,
Right.
for sure.
and I need him to see them.
And those
Absolutely.
students are missing out on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I need to laugh. I need my laugh during the day. That's funny. But I think since COVID has happened, I think a lot of kids and their attendance has been a really big issue.
Oh.
Like not being in school and feeling like, oh, I can
Yeah.
miss school and still be fine. And that's super hard because we essentially during that time allow them to not be at school and accommodated them in the best way possible. But now we're back in schools and they need to be at school to be able to be successful. And I think there's a lot of kids having a lot of hard time transitioning back to that. And parents being like, okay, kids, you actually have to go to school.
Well, yeah, because we had so much freedom with them.
Exactly.
You know, like, go do whatever you want. We're going to travel and just do it online.
Yeah. Yeah.
Digital age.
Yeah. It's good times.
You
Not
betcha.
really.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, if this rising generation doesn't have access to technology, the quality of memes is going to go down.
It's going to suffer.
For sure.
We're going to notice a whole generation.
I'm like, do you not even know this meme? What?
You know what's funny, though, is that my girls will talk to me about high school stuff, and Ryan knows it all. Like,
Yeah.
we can call him. He's been a huge resource for us.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
For lots of things.
Yeah.
Associated with school, for understanding things, explaining things, helping us prepare for things. It's been fantastic having someone like him in the family. But one of the things that you just reminded me about is I taught a church class to 17 and 18-year-olds. And I asked them, I was like, hey, at the time I had like a 13-year-old. And I was like, as a parent who's going to have a kid in high school soon enough, what's the one thing that you guys would tell me that I don't know or that would surprise me? And they go, most kids have a second cell phone. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah. So you have the cell phone your parents give you.
Yeah.
And you do everything that they tell you on that.
Yeah.
And then you have like an old phone that only works on Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And you have that hidden.
Yeah.
And so even if kids are coming in and putting their phones in the pouch,
Yes.
they've got this other phone,
Yes.
Wi-Fi only, and they do whatever they want.
Yes. Very much so.
Which did surprise me.
Yeah.
But
wow.
I totally would have, I feel like I would have done that when I was in high school.
Yeah. And I think the social media that you know about, they are doing something completely different. They're not on Instagram and Facebook and X. They're on like
It's old people stuff.
Yeah.
now,
Yeah. I'm
right?
trying to there was one I was like, that is not a communication app, and they're like, oh, it is now.
Oh.
Yeah. And
I mean, Snapchat, TikTok are big.
Yeah, like
younger
the
generation.
like the big ones that you think are that.
Candy Crush.
I mean, people were sending it messages through Netflix.
Through Netflix?
Yeah. So like,
whoa.
And this is kind of like grooming type of stuff, but they would like have the same login account, and so one would log in, and there would be like, you know how you can say, my name is Ben.
Yeah.
Well, you can also put a message
Oh
there
my
instead of
gosh.
just Ben.
Yeah.
Right? And so they would communicate in that way. And so like it's not just Instagram and TikTok.
Well,
That's wild.
and secondary story again. So I have a cousin who is a tech guru.
Yeah.
Total, and he said that he met with a kid in his church who was a tech guru, but he was still in high school.
Yeah.
And he said, similar thing, like, tell me what's going on or something.
Yeah.
He's like, no matter what you do as a parent or even a tech guy to a phone, there is a kid who knows how to get around it.
Yes.
And teaches all the other kids.
Yes.
So if you're saying, oh, my kid's not allowed to have Snapchat, they will find a way to get Snapchat on their phone and you won't ever know about it.
Yes. We have kids that because we have filters at our school on like, because we're a 1-to-1 district.
What does that mean?
So that means every kid has a Chromebook.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And so, or some type of device, in our case, Chromebooks.
Okay.
And so there's filters based off of your grade level. There's an elementary filter, there's a middle school filter, there's a high school filter. And you can, as a parent, decide where you want your kid to be on that filter spectrum. In the middle school, you can say, I want you to be at the elementary level, and you're not able to access quite a bit of the things, right?
Yeah.
Or you can be like, actually, you can't access anything, and you can use it for whatever your teacher lets you use it for, like Google Docs. That's all you have access. But kids are smart.
Yeah.
And I know that there's like 3 kids in my school that are like, oh, I can get you around that.
Yeah.
And then they, like you said, they teach everyone else. And so we're like, we have these filters on, but then they still know how to access all the things because they're smarter than we are.
There is no way that anyone, if I was a student, would prevent me from playing Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when you could do that on the
Yeah.
calculator? You could hack
Yeah.
the TI whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
TI 84.
See,
Yeah.
and that was
Yeah.
still kind of new when I was in school. I remember a kid had programmed the answers to a math test into the calculator
Yeah.
and was giving it to other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
He'd be like, "Here, let me just type this in," and then you had
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
wild.
Yeah. Just everyone has their technology of the time that they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna make it so that it benefits us in a way that is pretty sketchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it just takes one kid because
Oh,
like
yeah.
not everybody has to know.
No,
It's
they
just the
don't.
one kid
Yeah,
who
exactly.
teaches you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if you can follow directions and be like, oh yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one kid that he's really good at programming. Probably could teach the class right now. He's an interesting kid. He's very autistic, but very smart.
Yeah.
And very capable of getting around all the things.
And you hear about kids changing grades and sharing tests.
There was a kid at Jordan when I was there that hacked into the cameras at our school, and I don't remember what he was. I think he like shut them down so we couldn't use them. And I'm like, hold on, I need these cameras because y'all be doing stupid stuff. But like, why are you so smart?
Do you have cameras in every class and everywhere?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Wow. That's crazy.
We have cameras everywhere.
There you go.
And there's sound.
Nice.
Sweet.
But for real, on the buses, if anything ever happens on a bus, we're gonna get you.
Yeah.
You know
Because it's the best cameras and they have the best sound. Oh my
On the
gosh.
school bus?
I was like, oh, they have it on the bus? Yes. Let's go. We're gonna find it.
You guys should wear body. They should make all the teachers wear body cams like police officers have to.
Turn it on and be like, okay, dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me how you stole the chocolate milk
Yeah,
again.
exactly. Repeat what you said. That's so funny.
Well, dang, Ryan, this is super interesting stuff, man.
Yeah. Really informative. This has been good.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a whole mess of other things that.
You know, people say when you start education, especially administration, that you should write everything down because you could probably write a book by the time you're done with it.
Yeah.
I haven't written anything down, but you got some stories.
You got some
that,
good ones.
You got that math mind. You don't forget stuff.
Oh, that's just
You're good.
not true. I forget things all the time.
Yeah.
What's the name of the podcast again? I'm just kidding.
Dude, who are you? Who are you?
What am I doing here for?
Wait, I just remember some about back boobs.
Yeah.
We've been recording?
Oh, it's weird. There's a microphone. I just noticed this right here.
Take us home on back boobs.
Yeah. So you wanted to hear
Yeah,
about
we
back
should
boobs?
probably hear about back boobs.
Okay. So I don't know how it got started, but Lexi would...
Your wife.
My wife. My wife's name is Lexi. And this was when we were dating back in the early 2000s.
Yes.
You know, when we were long distance as well. And so we had this inside joke, and we would make, I don't know why we'd make fun of people with back boobs.
Yeah.
And so we liked the song Baby Got Back.
Okay.
And we changed the words to Baby Got Back Boobs.
Okay.
And we would jam on Baby Got Back Boobs. So we dated for like 9 months, and then we broke up for quite a bit of time because she was not moving anywhere and I wasn't done with school.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, see ya. Well, she was like that. I was like, what?
No.
No, please don't go. I love you. I mean, maybe. I actually don't know. And so I would reach out to her like periodically and I wouldn't hear anything. Like it was radio silence. Like I'm like, I guess, it is what it is. But then I was listening to the radio one day and I heard Baby Got Back. And I just started laughing out loud. And I'm like, because I said Baby Got Back Boobs. And And so I texted her. I was like, I just heard baby got back boobs. And she was like, that's hilarious. And I was like, oh, hello.
She wants this.
Hey, I'll show you some back boobs.
Foot in the door again.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Let me show you these back boobs. I've been working on them. Eating all the Twinkies.
Back boobs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That is funny.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
I wooed her with back boobs.
That's funny, man.
It was good times. It was really good
Awesome.
times.
Well, thanks for being on again, Rye. We really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thanks for having
Yeah,
me. It
man.
was a
Yeah.
good time.
It was.
Maybe we'll do a part 2 with more stories of the
Of the
The
lives
students.
of the kids in Canyon School District.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anything, Z? Any sign off message?
Well, if we don't see you,
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
That sounded rehearsed.